Now in its third year in Brooklyn, Taste Talks is an annual event hosted by Northside Media that brings together the best of chefs, food writers, and foodies at venues throughout Williamsburg. This year, the topics range from the evolution of the restaurant dining room to cooking with chilies and spelt grains, but with plenty of actual food to go around.
Oh, it sounds delicious. And our next two guests are going to bring us into the kitchen, so to speak. But first, let's take a look at this trailer for a new series called First Cut, co-produced by Northside Media and the Salt of the Earth Project, featuring a slew of celebrity chefs talking about their first time, the culinary version. Keep it going.
I tried to slice as fast as I could, and I cut off half of the top of my finger, the whole fingernail, everything was gone. And that was the first cut, and it hurt like hell. I learned the hard way.
First or worst cut? Oh, absolutely.
This mother bled for quite some time.
First time I got cut, or first time I got cut bad?
Oof.
Ooh, okay.
Probably when I first started cooking. My first job, I was 17 at the time.
I was 16 years old.
24 years old.
I was 16 years old.
First cut was, I think like many people, the mandolin.
The can of pickles.
I'm taking apart a rack of pork.
Carving pumpkins.
Chopping tomatoes.
One of the teachers was mocking me about how slow I was cutting lettuce, and I ended up cutting off this entire fingernail.
Snap.
Split my thumb open from here to here.
All the way down through my thumb.
Split my thumb in half.
Nicked it.
From here to here. It was insane.
Right down into my thumb.
Can't remember. I've cut myself so many times.
I definitely have, war wounds, pastry tattoos, as I call them.
I looked down and it was like a ketchup packet exploded in my hands. Blood everywhere.
Dripping, and it's going into the water and the ice and all over the cheese, and I'm like, oh my God.
Check, my thumb was gone.
Put it back together with super glue. You regenerate quite fast, which is quite interesting.
Tape, gloves.
Passed out, hit my head on one of the prep tables.
The number one rule, no matter how bad you get hurt, you just walk it off. But
I didn't even yell or anything. I wrapped it with a towel.
Went to the nurse and she's like, you should probably have stitches. I was like, yeah, probably.
Went in the bathroom and cried for a minute.
I just tied it up with the masking tape that they had, and it just kept them going. Told nobody.
Oh, there's so many. Sorry.
Ouch. Here to tell us more, not about the first time they sliced a finger, but about this weekend's Taste Talks, our festival director, Will Levitt. Thanks for joining us in the studio.
Glad to be here.
And Brian Quinn, the programming director. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so Taste Talks. I can't believe it's been a year already since we last talked to you.
Either. It's gone super fast, and it's in a couple days.
It's definitely in a couple days.
Yeah.
Still obsessed with food.
Yep, yeah, nothing has changed on that front. We're all still obsessed.
Before we start talking about Taste Talks, can you tell us just a little bit about why, everyone's saying that, Brooklyn is America's test kitchen?
Yeah, we call Brooklyn America's test kitchen. I think what Brooklyn used to be for music, this really cool, almost like lab where musicians, young musicians, this has been the same for artists, could come and experiment with new types of music, create bands. Food has kind of taken that place of music in the past couple of years. And you have some of the most innovative and interesting chefs in the world here, opening restaurants, opening pop-ups, creating new food products. We have such cool startups here that are creating, food products we've never heard of before. So Brooklyn really is like America's test kitchen today. We think it's this place where people from all over look to for what's next in food and drink, and Taste Talks is all about celebrating that.
So Brian, we know what folks do when they come here for film festivals and dance, and we talk to the program and they're like, how many movies did you watch? How many dances did you see? Yeah. Are you just out eating every meal in the world? What does the programmer do at a Taste Talks?
Well, it's really about finding the stories that are within the chef's food and what they're trying to convey. Some of them also have programs that they're working on, like Klaus Meyer from Noma in Copenhagen. He's working on this Brownsville project to use food as a way to break people out of, he's also done all around the world, out of poverty and using food as a language, And there's that, and then there's also people like Chef Jose Ramirez Ruiz of Semilla in Brooklyn. And he's using vegetables in ways, and parts of vegetables that we would not have otherwise thought of, like the skin of an onion, and then you powderize that and it completes this other dish. So it's all about kind of not wasting part of the ingredients. So there's many different stories. It's sort of how do you get the chefs to come together and convey these underlying themes within the food that they create. Of course, barbecue and Southern food is another part of it as well, the lineage there.
Well, there's so many different curated events that you folks do. Even last year, it was just amazing to go and to actually not even just taste the food, but like you said, to talk about it. So what is the general sort of theme for this year?
Well, so our curator this year is Chef Sean Brock, who is really one of kind of the leading figures today on Southern food. He has the restaurant Husk down in the South, also McCrady's, and he'll be curating the festival this year. That really means he's kind of like the creative head of the festival in Brooklyn for the year. So he really kind of gave us his creative vision, the types of people he wanted involved, the types of topics that he wanted covered, and really worked with us to bring in all sorts of people from all over the country to talk about both Southern heritage and Southern food, and also other topics that are really interesting to him. And that's shown throughout the festival. So we have a day-long conference that we do. We have dozens of panels and talks and demos. He's going to be doing a bourbon tasting at one point. We have the All-Star Barbecue, which of course has a lot to do with Southern food, and then All-Stars, and then all sorts of meals and parties and brunches that go on throughout the weekend as well.
So we know what this is like from our perspective and going and tasting and eating all this stuff, but what's it like from the professionals? Like when you get those All-Stars together, it feels like these aren't people who get to see or interact with each other a lot.
Yeah, definitely, when they're stuck in the kitchen quite often. And so we want to create those collisions, just like Brooklyn is home to a lot of different hybrids of cuisines. I think we're looking to create that feeling with the barbecue. There's a lot of different mashups. So we have 12 different stations. We're bringing together various different chefs like Momo Sushi Shack out in Bushwick with Javrobi White from Tribe Called Quest. So it's kind of like, all right, well, what happens when you bring creative people together and sort of changing the food and creating a dish that you wouldn't otherwise have in a restaurant. So yeah, that's part of the goal and why it's a great opportunity to do that through the festival.
You must love it to get out of the kitchen, and it's like the Broadway people never see each other's shows. You know, you get to move around a little.
Yeah, definitely. We want, of course, it's the quality of what they can do in the restaurants. There's so much happening there. But how can you bring a little bit of that to the broader barbecue and
us regular folks?
To us regular people, absolutely, all day, and I'll take some more, please. What can you tell people that are, obviously the chefs and the foodies sort of know, but to the average Brooklynite that says, hey, I heard of Taste Talks, I missed it last year, but, I'm not really a foodie, even though you are. What do you say to them to have them come on down?
Well, so there's a little bit of everything at Taste Talks. So there's some free events like Future Food Expo. So Future Food Expo is all about the future of food technology and innovation. So we have startups and media companies and futuristic food products, and they're all showing off what they're doing in Brooklyn. That's a free event Saturday and Sunday. So anybody who just wants to come on by, there's tastings, there's demos. You can really see what's going to be next in the food world, which is a super fast-changing world right now. Cool. There's also the All-Star Barbecue, which I think is the best event if it's your first time at Taste Talks. It's really fun. There's so what we do is we pair up celebrities and chefs. So we have 12 different grill stations. Each station has a celebrity and a chef. Together they come up with some crazy barbecue creation. And
I'm getting hungry.
That's what our jobs do to us.
Oh man,
there's a DJ playing. There's all sorts of stuff going on. That's all day Sunday. So that's a great event to check out if you've never been to Taste Talks before.
All right, let's start with Brian. This is like the last question walking out. What is something that you will not see at Taste Talks? One food trend that you are happy to kill, bury, and never see again. You want to just put on the trash heap.
That's a hard one.
The culinary world.
Like food trend that I'm happy
no
not
more
to
beet
see.
salads. Like, just what are you over? It will never be a Taste Talks.
Well,
I love it.
yeah, I guess there was a time when there's this kind of joke about like every chef in the West Coast in San Francisco putting like figs on a plate or mission figs and that, like you just have that. I mean, I think the thing that it's certainly not boring right now, the scene in Brooklyn, and so I think for me it's almost like there's so much you can't even cover. So I think for me it's about just that constant new evolution of the scene here and the things that we can get to try. We're so lucky to be able to have all of this.
He didn't take anything off the list. Boo this man. Boo this man. But we will be at Taste Talks. Yes. Yeah.
Great. We can't wait to see you guys there.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's been a year. So.
Come on.